Hello all you Pixel people, I am Pixel and welcome to IAmPixel's Perspective. In this episode I want to talk about the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition and the fact that it's not coming to PC confirmed. However, Square Enix have put out that if we want it on the PC we just need to basically let them know. I just wanted to talk about the issues that we spoke about for a long time, basically that the old generation of consoles was holding back the PC when it came to features in single player or basically any game in general. And this really starts to come out a little bit when we talk about the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and to totally understand what I'm saying, there is a video on IGN currently, and it's a little trailer about the Definitive Edition, and it actually shows some of the gameplay from the PlayStation 4 next to the PlayStation 3. So you can see some of the graphical enhancements that have happened, some of the extra features which are going to be in the game, and I would highly recommend you check that out before watching this full video, or listen to what I've got to say and then watch it afterwards. I will put a link in the description so you can get to that as soon as possible. So basically, the Definitive Edition is the original Tomb Raider that we've actually got on the PC as well, which was released in March 2013. However, there have been a few graphical enhancements, such as there's a new fog system. Lara Croft has got a slightly changed model. Apparently it's just a lot more higher resolution when it comes to the polygons, so a lot higher polygon counts, so it looks a little bit smoother in general. And we've also got subsurface scattering, which is going to make her skin glow. If you listen to what they say on IGN, effectively what it means is it's going to just make that skin look a hell of a lot more realistic. Now, my issue with all this really boils down to the fact that there are now 75 million active Steam accounts, according to Gabe Newell in a few speeches, especially when he released the Steam machines. And that makes me wonder, like, how come the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, with a very small installed user base, manages to convince Square Enix to totally give some brand new features and pump some new graphical fidelity into a game, when the PC with its massive installed user base wasn't enough to do that? I mean, there's two reasons I can think of. One, it's because they purely didn't sell enough copies on the original, on the last generation consoles now, or the current gen still, depending on what you call it. I have no idea when we're going to actually switch over from calling current gen, next gen, and blah blah blah. But regardless, you know what I mean, the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, maybe they never sold enough copies on that, and they think that we can actually make a bit more money by reselling them the same game on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, which would make sense, and that is what I'm hoping is the case, ironically. As much as it is a money grab, I do totally understand a business's reasoning to try and make some money. I mean, they're not forcing you to buy this stuff, and it is the same game, and they will admit that. It just looks a little bit better and it's got a few extra features. It comes with all the multiplayer DLC, which nobody played anyway, so that doesn't really make much of a difference. And Laura's got a few costumes, which I want to see. I look forward to seeing Laura's new costumes, because I remember, I'm going off topic now, but back in the day when like the original Tomb Raiders were released, like the old version of Tomb Raider, like I remember when the costumes came out for them games, and it was classed as a massive thing when you could go into a water level, for instance, and you'd be wearing a wetsuit, or you can go into a jungle level and you're wearing a green combats and stuff, and that was just crazy. And the costumes look quite good for the time as well, to be honest, so I'm kind of wondering what they can actually do. I really do like the Tomb Raider default skin, which we're seeing in Tomb Raider 2013, basically. I just hope that they don't go over the top. I'm just picturing Square Enix putting some crazy anime chick kind of costume in there, which will be ridiculous. But anyway, back on topic. So the PC wasn't deemed to obviously be worth doing a definitive edition for. We left the same models in. Maybe this is also because the developers were scared of saying, hey look, we're releasing a game, it's a lot better on PC, it's got all this extra tech. They wanted it to be on a level playing field, and I think developers for the longest time have actually wanted to force the idea on people that, look, it's a good game wherever you get it, just get it. It doesn't matter where you get it, just get it. And I think Battlefield, for instance, was a game which got a lot of stick based on the fact that it was better on the PC. And I think Square have decided to try and dodge that bullet a little bit, but I don't know if it's the right thing to do. I personally would love to see the Definitive Edition for free on the PC. Basically, if you want Tomb Raider 2013, you get to patch it and update and have these new technologies in the game. I mean, we've already got the game on the system. And I also want to point out, I do completely understand that the Definitive Edition on the PlayStation 4 will still more than likely not look as good as the PC original version on ultra settings at a decent resolution at 120 FPS. I mean, it is going to be at 60 FPS, which is really impressive, especially when you compare that to the Xbox One at 30 FPS. Dang it, son. Microsoft's lagging a little bit behind on this one, but still, I don't know. I do think it's going to look better on the PC still with the higher resolution and the higher frame rate, and the fact that we can actually do some really cool anti-aliasing, still have VSync at 120 FPS. Not that we'd ever use VSync, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I do think it's still going to look pretty. It does look pretty amazing on the PC. I mean, the gameplay that you're watching now is from the PC edition, and I don't know why. I kind of feel a little bit disappointed that it is the case that the PlayStation 4 version is going to have better technology. Not necessarily that it's going to look better, but it's got the better technology behind it than the PC version will have. Because I'm just wondering, if it can run at 60 FPS on a PlayStation 4 with subsurface scattering, extra particle effects and all that kind of jazz, then surely it's going to run at least 60 FPS on my PC, which is running the current edition now at about 150 FPS standard. I mean, there are some disadvantages to this Definitive Edition that I can see. I mean, we've got Tress effects on the PC, which is the really cool hairstyling, but on the PlayStation 4 video that you can see on the IGN website, or the IGN YouTube channel, you'll notice that even though it's got a form of Tress effects, like the idea of the wavy hair and the strands of individual, it definitely looks like it's in bigger blocks, so there's not quite as many strands of hair. But to be honest, Tress effects was one of the things that bothered me about the Tomb Raider on the PC, because as much as it looked absolutely amazing, later on in the game, I'll actually put some gameplay up at this bit now. You go into a big pool of blood and your character looks disgusting. But saying that, your hair looks fine because your hair wasn't being textured. It was basically a flat colour and all that kind of jazz. But regardless, I'm going off topic. I just really think that it's a shame that we're not going to be seeing... Well, it's not confirmed as of yet, the Definitive Edition on the PC, and I think it'll be a shame as well if we are expected to pay for it. Maybe if they release the Definitive Edition as a DLC for the PC, I could see myself paying $10 to upgrade with this surface scattering and these other effects. And yeah, I think the reason what made me want to make this video is the fact that 75 million installed user base was not enough to justify to Square Enix at the time, less than a year ago, that we deserve to have these higher resolution textures, subsurface scattering, particle effects, and all that jazz. And I don't know, I just felt a little bit disappointed. So I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are on the fact that Tomb Raider is going to look better on the PlayStation 4. Technically, it's not going to, I'm pretty convinced. But only time will tell on that one. I would love to hear what you think about this whole situation. But anyway, guys, IAmPixel. This has been a Pixel Perspective. Don't forget to slap that subscribe button for some more PC gaming goodness, and to like this video if you like this video. It's a quick one and straight to the point. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.